My next guests are the rhythm section of Collective Soul. Johnny Rabb and Wayne Shovlin, his drum tech, are here.
Yeah.
Wayne and Johnny, it's good to see you guys. How you
Kevin,
doing?
hi there, buddy. Hi, Wayne.
Yes, sir. You guys are probably around each other enough that it feels like you just took a tiny little window
This
away,
could
huh?
be in the back of the semi right now, or on the bus, or on stage, as far as I'm concerned. So it's always, I love Wayne so much. And dude, sweet intro. I love how much you've done, Kevin. That is really
Oh,
amazing. Congrats, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. Well, lots of mutual friends of both of yours. I'm sure we've had a lot of fun guests, and this is this is what we get to do if we are not physically hanging out backstage or in the dressing room.
Yeah.
So, what was the last gig that you guys did together?
That was 2 weeks ago, right, Wayne, at the University
Yeah,
of North Carolina.
North Carolina. Yep.
Okay,
We did the
awesome. And
opening.
so, was that a one-off?
We did the Tar Heels game, a pre-game hype up at 10 a.m. Thank God Wayne was there. I know you guys worked hard, Wayne, like early morning. Anyway.
Yeah, it was like 7 a.m. load in.
I was wondering about that. When you've got a load-in call on that, on a gig like that, are you bringing your own gear, Johnny, or are you actually doing backline stuff?
Wayne, go ahead, buddy.
Yep. We had our semi there with all of our gear. Yeah. Yep.
So
Wow.
we will do backline from time to time if it's a weird fly date or like a crazy cross country. And we used to always use B rigs years and years ago, and like fly packs, like just part of the rig. Wayne has absolutely put together amazing A and B rigs and even C rigs for us in case there's some wackiness. About once a year, there's a wacky event that is like Newfoundland to Honolulu or something wacky. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I just did that very thing last
We
year.
did too.
Actually, the end of a Canadian tour. I think we ended up in New Brunswick and then had Honolulu the next day. Actually, so that's crazy.
That's exactly what we had go down. I think, Wayne, I'm not full of it, right?
We did. No,
east.
and how about that time change? Because when you leave one and go to the other, it's now yesterday. Like,
right? Yeah, you go back.
You go back in time,
literally.
Yeah. So that was our last gig. Was that for the year? And then we got something cool coming up.
Was that the Hawaii Theater?
November? But go ahead. Yeah.
Was it the Hawaii Theater that you played in Honolulu?
No, actually, that was. Yeah.
Go ahead, Wayne.
Which one was that?
Isn't that, Johnny, the private gig we did? Wasn't it on a golf course?
Well, the Honolulu thing was the Army base that we did for 4th.
The Army base.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wow. That is so fun.
And the one before that was the golf course, the private gig. I believe it was on a different island, right, Johnny?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
100%. That's correct.
So you take a puddle jumper over there.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's one of those are the kind of the quirky gigs, right? Where you get to Hawaii, you're not obviously flying your gear over there, drums. You got a whole drum kit, so you use whatever you can get and then bring in. So what is it that you travel with on a gig like that you've got? You bring in your brass, you bring in your pedals.
We bring our cymbals and like little percussion tables and stuff like that Johnny uses. That's part of the B rig that I put together. That's just a couple of Pelican cases. And so we fly with those, and we fly with guitars and stuff like that. But the kit and all the hardware is provided by a backline company.
Okay. Yeah. I love these stories for other musicians that watch the show because they'll relate. A lot of guys that we know maybe are used to either traveling with their gear, they'll never use a backline kit, or they're playing locally. They don't even understand about the travel logistics of how that goes. And so when I post pictures of my kit, they're like, "How is it that you got a different drum kit every night?" I'm thinking, well, so
yeah,
on a lot of continuous tours, right? A lot of our things are like we'll do like 3 consecutive dates in Florida, and we'll maybe use the same backline company, so we'll have the same kit for a couple or 2 or 3 days, but then it's another kit completely for the next 4 or 5 shows. And so you never really get comfortable. But for your stuff, if you've got consistency, like do you travel with a throne? Do you have a backrest or a throne or anything like that you use that's like you can't do without?
There's a little, in my opinion, no. Wayne, I think we kind of make the joke, and I do care, but it's almost like it's actually slapped me a few times, right? Wayne, like, he doesn't care. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, no, I care. But like, I just, it's just adapt to whatever. And Wayne, I don't take it for granted, or I don't look at Wayne as like he's the drum tech. You look at him as my friend and colleague. So he knows my quirks, and like, I don't think I get upset that often or try to, I confide in Wayne a lot about personal things, about life, about, so we work together, and I'm saying it in front of his face right now, but I've said it to him almost daily. Love him, love that I walk right up. I don't think I'm anything. I'm just very fortunate, as we all are, I got to do this. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to drum. So I want to make sure I answer your question. I don't travel with anything so personal. It's so weird after all the years of sitting in all over the world and in my life in Nashville, and I don't mean this arrogantly, but you should be able to just play whatever drum set's in front of you, even if you can't move it, even if you can't, even if you're not allowed to touch it. I've had people sitting in, do not touch when you sit it, don't touch shit on my mouth.
Right.
Like, okay, and you're all
that oh man. Well, for me, yeah, I have, like you, I probably have some similar sort of things where I'll stand ahead, I'll stand at the stage plot, I'll have heights and some of those other things assigned where I expect, because I sit pretty low on my throne. I really have a tough. So that's the only thing. If I get into a backline kit that it's either hydraulic, it's not a hydraulic, or the throne is like locked up and you can't go low enough. That's the hardest thing, right? Because your foot position, and thankfully, a flock of seagulls is not quite as more as demanding as maybe sitting in playing a sticks gig, versus Todd Zuckerman can like do his thing.
I'm not talking about your job, but I am saying I know what you mean but I still think, man, people, and I don't want to get all ADD, but people, I think, take for granted how hard just any gigs are. Like your gig, mine, like there's still, it's not like you're just like back there going out, whatever. Collective Star was like, oh, he's just playing 2 and 4. It's like, dudes, there's stuff going on. Like,
yeah.
I mean, so I get,
and honestly, and it takes a lot of the emotional or the mental energy too, right? So even if it's not as physically demanding on some of those parts, to be able to play consistently and make the pocket feel right and everything like that, there's so much that goes on here. So the demanding parts really like fatigue. If you're traveling those from New Brunswick to Honolulu the next day, and your time change, even if you're going back in time, it does throw you off a little bit.
That throne comment is that throne comment is so real. I've done stuff, and everyone's got their thing, but I'm almost the opposite. If a throne is too low and the knees are almost up on my shoulders, I have a very tough, I can do it and it's fun, and like I like little bar gigs or something. He's sitting in. I'm like, I don't know. Ever since I had a lesson from somebody had said that, like it was a 1-hour lesson with David Garibaldi. He's like, you should be able to sit in on any kit and make it work. There's no, you can have it all dialed in, but real quick, Wayne dialing it in, it's a fact. Like a lot of times, Wayne, you'll say, Johnny, you need to go check it, and I appreciate that, but 100% of the time it's like walk right up and do it. And I have gotten spoiled by you, Wayne, with I might switch something weird at an angle, go, hey, I'm switching. He's like, well, that's not how it was. I'm like, I totally know, this is all me. I'm feeling weird. I'm feeling like it's not at my belt line, or I'm thinking I'm gonna rack my knuckle. I always look back at him when I injure myself too. It's like so stupid. There's some of the dumbest stuff. Dude, when you hit your index finger underneath the stick and rim shot your index finger, it is the most humiliating. And all I can do is turn around and cuss at Wayne and go.
This one's still sore from a couple of nights ago. In Columbus, Ohio. And our roadie was on the side of the stage, and I did that same thing. I did the stomach drop because you hit it right on the lug nut. That's the tension rod.
Oh yeah,
the tension rod of the snare. Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
I know. Again,
hey,
so Captain ADD. So
my favorite thing. I'm with you. No, man. This is and I love having techs with their musicians, with their drummers, especially on the show, because there's a lot that some drummers might take for granted. But Wayne's position with you and like with Jason, we talked about Jason Pierce,
totally
piece, and we'll get into your background, Wayne, a little bit. Like you're a godsend, you're a lifesaver in so many respects, right? Because you're, dude, if not for you. You saved the day, I'm sure, more times than Johnny could ever say.
Oh yeah.
So
I will say, I got to
so
throw.
tell me about prep.
Can I throw a story in there that just happened? Because Wayne knows.
Do it.
I always feel like crap. We've been playing this show for the set for the whole most of the year, and we get to the song "Keep It on Track," and like it's nothing about Wayne. Like there's no. I'm not like, oh, Wayne, but my mind is going to this backup vocal part as if it has nothing. Again, Wayne knows this. I felt really bad because I'm like, Wayne, mic stand. But it's not like Wayne mic stand. Oh, darn it. It's more just like the mic stand. My brain is going, mic stand. And he's like, what? And
I'm like, you don't need it yet.
Yeah. And I'm like, but I'm singing. And it's bottom line was my brain just went, and I thought I had always sang on that song, whatever the proper thing is there on that song. Not like it matters if it was not there, you know what I'm saying? They're like, damn it, where's Johnny's vocals? But Wayne was so pro, is so pro, he knows all the moves. And we weren't arguing, but I have to admit, later on, hey, I'm so sorry because my brain just went, I'm singing. So it was like, it's kind of cool that he knew it more than me. If that makes sense.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no.
So I ended up.
You talk about
I did swing his mic in because I thought he wanted to say something. I thought, I thought Johnny has something he needs to say, I guess.
Yeah.
So I swung his mic in.
Take over the show.
I knew it wasn't time to sing, so I didn't know what he was gonna. I didn't. I just said, here's your mic.
And that's what I want to give that compliment of. You said saved my life more than I knew. So like there's some and Wayne puts up with there's just random, and I'll turn to him and say, oh my God, like mini stroke. And that's not a joke. Like I had a little incident a couple of years ago that was like a TIA thing. So I'm not making any fun of like a true stroke, but like I literally have had some upsetting things happen where he's watching, and dude, I don't know if you've had this happen, Kevin, but Wayne's witnessed it, and I know Wayne knows what I mean. You're playing, and you're not even like really out to lunch going like, man, we're playing so well, and then you make a mistake. My body has a couple times this last 2 years just gone, huh, and I stopped playing the drums.
Buddy, dude, on a live DVD recording in Ontario 5 years ago, got me. Yeah, in the middle of a song. I couldn't. Honestly, I honestly can't explain. The fact that you've said this, you're the first person I've talked to that's had this happen, that has told this to me. I remember coming out stage because it was third song from the end of the set. I knew they're recording it for live DVD. It's out there on YouTube. Like I can go back and thank God the cameras weren't on me during that part, but you could hear the beat drop out for about three beats. And singer turned around, looked at me, came off stage, and I knew I had like a brain fart.
No, that's the best way to put it.
It is.
I don't know how to explain it, but it messed me up so bad because then I second guessed it for a long time. I'm worried that it may happen again. I thought, is there something wrong with me? So the fact that it's happened to more than one person, thank you, Johnny. Just saved my confidence a little bit. But that's spooky.
Yeah, you can, and I want to let Wayne, because I'd love to hear what it's like for Wayne. I've never even thought this, but Wayne's over here. So when you see me on the camera going like this, that's me going to Wayne. What the, you know what? Oh my God!
Yeah.
And I'm talking about a good show happening and being like, not even being like out in left field. And then when it happens, like being like, man, look at Jesse over there. It's so he does a good job, and then I screw up. We're like, I can look at Ed. Ed is just really, man, what a great song. World I know. I can't believe I'm playing with him right now. Then that's fine. But these have been, I'm talking about going into a bridge of like World I Know or the breakdown, and all of a sudden my body, and it's, God, and I'm done stopping. Holy crap, I can't believe I stopped.
Yeah.
It feels like 5 minutes go by and then I'm back in. But Wayne, is it quick? I've had a couple
it definitely seems a lot worse to you, of course. And, and I'm sure like a lot of the audience don't even notice it at all, but, we do, of course.
Yeah.
And, when that happens, the best thing I do for Johnny is just say, I go brush it off. Like, don't think about it anymore. Just brush it off.
That is the
Yeah,
that is the
because
that is the
you
baseball
got to let
surgery.
that go. You got to let it go, man, and don't dwell on it or don't keep thinking about it for the rest of the show. Think about it after the show.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I do. Those are the ones that keep me awake
Yeah.
at night, man. Those kind of things for sure. Is it me? Is it me that I'll sit awake going, how did that
Dude.
happen? Like, what can I do?
Yeah.
It is the worst.
Was it diet?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kev. God.
Is it diet? Is it the news I watched? Whatever, right? So yes, turn off the news, eat a little
It's
better.
just a total brain fart. That's all it is.
is.
Yeah.
The last one, I won't wear this
But-
out, but the last one I had, there was two right after each other, and the whole show was going awesome. And I couldn't believe it. I was beating myself up, and Wayne really did go, because it's loud. We don't have to talk back. He was just like, oh, and I
Brush
went,
it off.
and I did, but you got to understand,
Yeah.
I've got I've got Wayne, but then I've got my other friends and colleagues looking at me like, they are looking at me like, are you okay?
Yeah.
But you can't help thinking they're looking at you going, what the was that shit?
Yeah.
But in real life, they're
Are
caring
you
like,
wearing
am I all
ears?
right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But,
everybody's on in-ears. Yeah.
oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Do you have wedges and subs at all too, or you just do it just ears?
Just
I know
ears.
this. I had just ears. I aced out the wedge the sub one time on accident, and it never came back, and I'm totally cool with it.
Yeah.
Wayne, you know why that happened?
I just
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Well, it's nice to have quieter stage volume for sure, right? To not have those monitors up there. It's just great to be able to, and ears are so reliable. I know for me, I like to have a sub just in case if something happens with my ears. I want to know for sure that I got a backup, But
Smart.
that's just my own insecurity. Who knows? Is that smart? Is it
No,
just
that's not
maybe I need more
insecurity.
reliable
That's
ears?
great preparing. I mean, if something happened to mine, I've had it happen where ears go out, and I'm like, sweet. Cannot wait to try to do this real time trigger I just did of an intro. Neat.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's nowhere.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do you have any tracks? Do you have any like sequencing or tracks or anything like that going on with the show?
I don't mean this to sound, again, like trying to like, oh, we're so cool. We do not. Before I joined, there was, I think, like some backup, like full song space bar. When I was involved in 2012, I brought the SPDS X in and was like, let's try this. And it was the most nerve-wracking thing because I was changing the whole situation for them. They had a person pressing space bar and doing the thing. That doesn't mean they weren't playing live. They just had some tracks. All I did is allowed 80% with the tambourine click and then triggering off organ or keyboards or an intro. But I don't have anything latched to like an eighth note to where if I have to hit it on the downbeat. And this goes back to the Roland days of demoing. I just used to, so the parts would be keyboard parts, one shot congas for December. I've recently added a loop of the congas in December this year and then real time, but no tracks. Like what's pretty cool is if we've had it happen. If we play with no click or no SPDSX, it's still the band. And I say it because I know the guys pride themselves on it being if somebody stops playing, i.e. Brain Fart King here, you hear it.
Yeah.
So it's like, and if, we all laugh. If somebody hits a honker, I don't know why I just said that name for it, the back note, or you hear it. It's not in the in Logic or Pro Tools, just safe, So
that's
love
cool.
that. Love that.
I do. Even the flexibility to have it open up without something confining like track is wonderful.
It is.
Right. And with Flock, we've got a couple of songs that have a sequenced loop, and it's just to supplement. But you are tied to that, right? And if there's a dependency on that, and you're trying to hear it, and for whatever reason, we did a gig that had a horrible bass trap on stage a week ago, and it was deafening, so much so that I could barely hear my ears, and I kept turning my ears up and up and up, and I know, like, man, I'm blowing my ears off for this gig, but I got to be able to hear that, right? So, those are the things that you don't read about in Rock and Roll 101. When you're prepping for these tours, you don't think you're just going out to slay it. What are you prepping for, Wayne? When you're getting Johnny's gig together, like what are you mentioned you've got an A and a B and even a C rig. What? Tell me about the rig, the kit layout.
So Johnny's using a Ludwig kit, and our A rig has not only the Ludwig kit, but we have SPDSX. We have SPDSX backup in case one goes down. We have 3 complete sets of cymbals and drum heads, boxes and boxes and boxes of drum heads before we go out on tour, and sticks. But yeah, backup pedals, backup snares. We're pretty much ready for anything. We have backups for the backups.
Yeah, that was a great thing.
You created some MEINL stuff too. So are you still MEINL guy?
Yeah, absolutely. They've been like
awesome.
30 years at least, it seems like at this point. And
yeah,
I love it because Wayne's in direct contact with Chris, and they're so great with getting this stuff, because the one thing we try not to do is abuse any of the companies. So like Remo, we never over order, but we try not to under order. And I'm not the guy that every show is changing heads unless an accident happened, like a broken head, but that doesn't happen. I mean, Wayne, you would attest to how many times you maybe change heads per tour. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Johnny likes, he likes, once they get worn to a certain place where he likes them, then he doesn't want me to put new heads on. And we'll push it, as far as I feel comfortable. And then I'm like, new heads today, sorry, Johnny.
No, it's true. It's true. I can sometimes hear it, and sometimes I'm like, I'm so used to just, you know what I mean? Like, oh, they're not, I wouldn't throw these away.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's geek a little bit. Tell me about those heads. So what are you using on your snares?
Well, we got I know it's the dot head, but I'm terrible with the actual, is it reverse dot?
Yeah, it's the reverse dot. It's the power stroke, the X.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
all right, and then racks, rack and floors.
Right, this is where real quick. This is where it looks like I don't care, but I do care. It's just, Wayne, you go ahead, because I know and I know what we're using on the toms. Go ahead though.
yeah, you do. Yeah, Emperor's on top, coated Emperors, right, and then the clear Ambassadors on the bottoms.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. And the kick.
The kick is a Power Stroke 3.
Awesome.
And we put a pad on there for his beater.
Yeah.
And then we got the Collector Soul logo front heads from Casey Grillo from Drum Static.
Yep. Oh, sweet.
And then
I lost Johnny for a second.
Come back, Johnny.
But his Wi-Fi might have dropped. Let me try and get him back on here. One sec.
Okay.
And while he's reconnecting, maybe hear me. Hey, Johnny, if you're able to hear me, just go ahead and click the link. Come back in here, and I'll bring you in. But you mentioned Casey Grillo too. So Casey and I just connected at the Queensryche show. So he's done very well with that drum company, that drumhead company. That's good.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. There's Johnny. He's back.
Welcome back, Johnny.
Cool about the iPhone. You know what's cool about the iPhone is when, and I'm not even going to do it. If it interrupts me again, but if a phone call comes in, you are done streaming. Let's just put it to you that way. You probably warned me. But I know you're talking about Casey Grillo, but I was just going to say real quick.
Yeah.
The inside of the bass drum has a sledge pad, which is a buddy of mine that makes the foam, early on foam. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah. Sledge pad, which is, foam. So we get a nice punch out of it. Anyway, Casey Grillo rocks. You guys continue. Sorry.
Amazing dude. Yeah, Casey will be on the show soon too. Actually, we just chatted about that. But so and sledge pad. Do you know how I can find those?
Yeah, it's a gentleman that created them. I'll send you the link, but it's at Sledge Pad Innovations and also just at Sledge Pad. And it's a guy that, I got to be honest, one of the first interior molded foam. But then, to be honest, unfortunately, a lot of people the industry kind of went, and put the almost similar version. But I've been using his original one for ever since we started with Collective Soul, so it's pretty cool.
Well,
it's a really cool.
Guys, if you're watching this later on, I'll make sure I've got the link that Johnny's going to get me. I'll have it in the show notes. So if you go to accesscamping.com, find this. I'll make sure that there's a link to it because definitely we want to showcase and help out our brother business owners.
Yeah, and quick. I didn't mean to interrupt the Casey thing. I love Casey so much. We became good friends that had nothing really to do with anything except for our drumming. And I used to go down in Tampa and do drum clinics at Seminole Music, and he'd be there and he's so supportive. I'd stay at his house, and him and John Spinelli. And honestly, some of the last clinics I've done that were because the climate has changed for in-person clinics, and I love him to death. I'm so pumped he's in Queensryche. He does this great job with all these drum heads for his drum static, and He's been so supportive. I just, him and his wife Kim are so great, and they're just wonderful.
Yeah.
Longtime friends.
Don't you love? It's so nice to see, right? I mean, you see somebody that is in the business that works hard. When they get an opportunity like that, he's gigging all the time with Queensryche. It's so cool to see that opportunity happen for him. Good dude.
Great dude.
Yep.
Yeah. When I had Mike Mangini on fairly recently, and of course, and Rod Morgenstein as well. Both guys, we talked about the clinic thing. You just mentioned that the climate's changed a lot. Drum clinics used to be a way that drummers could substantially increase or at least supplement their income while they're not touring.
Yeah.
And that climate's changed completely. I don't know of hardly anybody that's out there that's doing much in the way of clinic tours.
Yeah.
There may be one-offs here and there, but it seems like appearances are more at events like NAMM and PASIC and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Where are you seeing?
Yes.
Yeah. I know one guy's still doing it, and that's Superman.
Well, I was just going to say, Wayne's right. Yeah. Go ahead about that, because I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's doing a thing here in Tampa at Spinelli's drum place. Yeah. That was just advertised. So good for him. He's still doing it.
Yeah.
Very smart thing that I agree, Wayne. Like, and it's not lost on me. I admit, like, I met Todd 15 or 16 years ago at Wisconsin. We both did interstate music in Wisconsin thing together, a festival. And I had this thing called ProDrumSchool.com, and I was doing a similar thing where I go in and teach a 2-day or a 4-hour class in one day, or there's packages you could get, and it worked. But at the end of the day, for me, what happened was it almost broke even. Whereas Todd is in demand. I'm not saying that no one would want to see mine. I don't know, but Todd has done a good job of doing a master class and then maybe some private students. I don't want to put words into his mouth or whatever, and when he's out with sticks, he does it. Wayne and I have been talking for a long time about doing that, and it would be fun. We just haven't quite got around to like making the logistics work out. And I have to admit, part of me feels a little strange on Collective Soul's hours going off. We've also discussed like literally doing a small tour each year outside of like when I'm off or when we're both off. So, but I love what Todd's doing. I don't think that Collective Soul would frown on it. I'm just that guy that has this little bit of guilt of like, you know, I'm out here on kind of their dime.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like being like, I'm quadruple dipping. Like,
yeah. So Wayne, you were just starting to say, so back in the 80s, tell me your story about your formation again.
Yeah, like so I was touring with my bands. My bands were doing okay, but just, you know, no money in it, of course. And then when I was fortunate enough to grow up in my hometown was Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and the one big company that was in that town was Mountain Productions, and all my friends that worked there like, hey, you want to work concerts? Okay, you know. And that's how I got my foot in the door, and I started, you know, working as a local, like, you know, doing the Motley Crue shows came to town, Aerosmith came to town, Guns N' Roses, and just started, you know, being a drummer, talking with all the drum techs, and that's how it started. Next thing you know, I'm teching for like all my idols. Like 30 years fly by, and here I am. Yeah, and man, what a great career it's been. I mean, I get paid to play with drums every day. I mean, so, and you know, I've done a lot of other things. Stage manager, which I do with Collective Soul, and I've done all the Monsters of Rock cruises and the heavy metal cruises, and you know, it's been so much fun, man. In fact, 6 years ago, I think Johnny and I met when I was with Three Doors Down. I was with Greg Upchurch, and we did that tour together. And that's where Johnny and I met. And yeah, so this 5 years now I've been with Johnny with Collective Soul.
And so you'd already been in the band about 10 years, Johnny, is that right?
Yeah, maybe 9 years, 8-9 years. And then, you know, I don't want to take it away from Wayne because I want him to continue on what he's done. But we met then, and then I was actually asked straight up by Ed. We were splitting the duties between lighting tech and assistant tour manager for setting up the drums. And I give those guys credit. Bobby is still our lighting director. He's awesome. And to set up the drums to where I could, you know, manage and get up there and have that break. Because when I first joined, I didn't have a tech, and that's totally okay, but it was a lot of work. I mean,
that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
For
you
the
had a
first,
dedicated tech.
for 6 years, it was me.
Wow.
And that's fine. I was
Yeah.
honored. They were restructuring things, and you know what I'm saying? I really was just wanted to be in that gig. I really wanted to do it. So there's no like, I demand, and then no. So we but I'm not gonna lie, as soon as Ed made it to where I could have the double duty and set it up, that felt great. But then it even felt more honored to where he gave me the decision. Who would you? And I'll never forget, because I was like, and Wayne, you know how this goes. I thought it might be they knew someone, and it wasn't going to have anything to do with me. But Ed goes, Johnny, who you suggest? And I immediately went, well, remember Wayne Shovlin? Who? And of course he's. Why would he in this sense? Because we're all busy. But as soon as I reminded, he's like, oh yeah. Oh, that's great. Okay. Oh, if you think, and I remember kind of being shocked of like, I'm allowed.
Yeah. Right.
So we got a hold of Wayne, and I'll just say that I believe, Wayne, you can tell me if not, but it's worked out just great, and we communicate absolutely with each other, you know, and if he needs something, he can go to tour manager, but we are colleagues, friends, the respect level. I do not, you know, if I do something like that thing I did with the mic stand, I'm like profusely being like, oh my God, you're right. I don't sing on that damn song. You know what I mean?
Well,
I don't ever do the like, what? My cymbals falling down.
Yeah.
You know, like, ever. Like that's
we have seen the drummers that do this. We know, but yes. But yeah.
I can't hear. Like I love it. I love imitating.
You know what? I've worked with those guys. I've been there.
I'm sure, man.
I've been there.
I know we're not naming names, so tell me about some of the more positive relationships you had. You mentioned teching with all these great guys for 30 years. Like, what some of the drummers that you worked with that were
like
real,
especially on like some of the cruises, I got to tech with like Vinny Appice and Carmine and you know and Robert Sweet with Striper and like Zoltan Chaney with Vince Neil and like all these great. I mean, these guys are like so awesome, and I built these friendships now. And then like when I'm with Johnny and Collector Soul, we run into these guys like we did in Newfoundland, and Jordan Canada with Slaughter.
Awesome.
Like, and then I'm happy to like make all these introductions. Like these guys are like, wow, like they never saw Jordan play before. And he was like, Johnny, right? Jordan Canada.
I literally, I don't mean to interrupt. Just going to add this in. Wayne has introduced me to so many awesome drummers that I've wanted to meet. And then we've both had opportunities kind of with our collective knowledge of folks that to kind of go, dude, this is Wayne, or Wayne, this is Johnny. And it's been Wayne, you've introduced me to so many cool humans.
George's another guy too. He's been on the show and an amazing drummer. He just did the 80s in the Sand festival down in Cancun. I've done that gig a couple of times.
Wayne Chung was on that.
They were, it's our mutual friend Josh Thompson. Josh is one of my best friends on the planet.
Love it.
And my relationships, my romantic relationships, have asked in the past, like, are you sure you and Josh aren't a thing? Because you just seem to have a lot of bro love for him. But I do. I love that guy like crazy, man. And not only is he a wicked drummer, but he's the greatest singer I know, man. It's nuts. Like, the guy can sing like a bird.
And I know we just went and we want to talk about the Jordan and how but I try to control my absolute massive like squirrels and then like birds. But I'll say the Wang Chung thing. I met him. Me and Wayne. I almost said Wang. Wayne and I were there, and he knew how much I loved him. And they played a festival, and I made the joke to Jorge that Jorge and I are good buddies.
He was there with Rick Springfield.
Yep. And I'm like, dude, Wang Chung's my favorite band, besides the Outfield in the sense of my pop era days. And I'm freaking out. I'm going, they're right there. Wayne, they're right there is Jack Hughes and Nick. Right there. Like, I'm losing my mind. That I can't believe I'm on the stage while they're sound checking. Anyway, I met Josh. He played great. Made the joke to him. I said, like,
amazing.
Let me sit in. I was kidding. And I'm like, know your whole catalog. Let me sit in. And I'm like, if you don't want, I'll sub for you. And I was totally kidding, but not. And then what you said, I then go on his damn Instagram and he's all, I'm playing acoustic and singing. And I think I wrote him, you son of a bitch. Like, almost like you can sing like that.
I know.
Anyways.
It's not even fair, man. And such a great human being, right? It's like, I mentioned that thing down in Cancun, an amazing gig. Hopefully, Collective Soul can get on that gig for sure, because it is one of the times of your life. I watched video of Jordan play, and a lot of those people hadn't seen Jordan or Slaughter play, and every woman in the chat is like, "Oh, I got dibs on that drummer," like, he definitely he commands a presence for sure, man.
Yeah, what a great guy.
But so Wayne, I interrupted your story, but talking about those experiences with all these guys, and you may have worked with some guys that have been less than amazing. The dudes that you just mentioned have all been guys that are really not only inspirational to me, like Vinny Appice, I had on the show, but I think he's such an underrated drummer for what his done. I mean, going back to freaking John Lennon, man, the dude's first gig was with John Lennon.
That's crazy, right?
That's a nice pedigree, right?
Yeah.
But thank goodness there are guys out there that, as us, and we're blessed to have careers and doing what we do. But when you grow up and you watch all these guys, and you admire what they do, and you hope to God they're not assholes, and you get out here and you realize that we're at this point now where we're at our collective ages and we get to do what we love. We hit the lottery.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, if we're not counting our gratitude list daily for what we get to do, then we're missing out, right? So I think fast forward now, you mentioned, that 5 years ago, Wayne comes into your world and you got the opportunity to make a recommendation that Wayne's your guy. Wayne, you were gigging with several different bands at that point. Like, you make a determination that, okay, I'm going to be committed to Collective Soul, and I can still be open to do these other gigs like Our Lady Peace when they come available. Is that what your schedule allowed?
Yeah, there's always a couple of months a year that Collective Soul they don't do much. Even if the guys go in the studio to record, I'm not needed, so I can go do other things. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it works out good.
Yeah. And are you still gigging quite a bit yourself personally with other bands?
No, man, I haven't had time to play in a band for probably 10 years now. I just, it's not like booking the gig, like when I'm home and go play the gig. It's the rehearsals and all that, and learning the material. Like, I don't have time for that,
Sure.
Yeah.
And again, that's the unfortunate thing about getting there. Or, as mature adults, right? We've got responsibilities, darn it.
Yeah. But like I said, I get paid to play with drums every day, so I'm grateful. And I've had the opportunities where somebody said, you could be a tour manager, and I'm like, if I came out here every day and like sent emails and did paperwork, that would take all the fun. Like, the only reason I love my job is because I get paid to do it. Why would I do it?
Yeah, Kevin, let him know.
Your audio's getting a little muffly again. But this is good. Maybe this is the time where I can pause you for a second and get into some collective soul chat here with Shawnee. So, Wayne, I'm just going to take you off camera for a second, just because that audio. And do me a favor, just reboot your phone.
Yep, got it.
Okay. So, Johnny, now 5 years ago, Wayne comes into your world, and you got him as a drum tech.
Yeah.
How much? Because that's right about COVID time, right? So, did you guys have a big break?
We did. Not cool. Yeah. Very scary, and I'm not being over exaggerating, but like everyone was just on hold, and I think, the obviously live person to person, and it was even awkward when we went back and we did a thing in Atlanta, and it was like, segregated areas for people to like distancing and all that. We did a social distancing gig, and no one knew what to do, and I think it's fair to say that was like, who would know? It's very uncharted territory. Who would ever thought? I look back and there's masks on everyone, on like me, and I'm like, oh my God, I remember when I, had like stock and masks, you know what I mean? It's like, whoa. Right. So I remember we did a show in Florida, and it felt like it was earlier than most bands, but we went and we did this thing, and Robin from Cheap Trick Xander was opening up, and we got out of the van and the flame was going. That's the first time I ever heard it live. And I'm like, oh my God, Dean, the flame, get out of the van.
Yeah.
Let's go. And he was super sweet. And much later became good friends with Dax and things like that. But that was a solo show. Point of it is, it was a very weird show. So, yes, so there was a break, and Wayne has, thank God we kicked back into it late 2020, or we know what I mean, 2021. I mean, but that was a weird time. So yeah, we really haven't stopped since. And Wayne, we're just talking about, and we'll go back to your thing, I'm sure, but we're just talking about the little break from COVID and how in 5 years we've done a lot. And thank God after COVID, we got back to, gigging, but go ahead, Kevin.
My point was, I mean, just that if it was 5 years ago that you guys started working together, and that's right about the time COVID hit, right? So you just get the gig, and all of a sudden now there's a big break, and at that point, things get started. How much are you guys gigging during the year? Are you playing pretty consistently? You mentioned a couple months where you might not work, but are you doing like pretty elaborate tours?
Yeah, last 2 years have been pretty full. What do you think, Wayne?
Yeah. We average, I think, 78, 80 shows a year, but I think last year we did 90 some shows.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. And so, guys, if you're watching this and you're not a touring musician, that only sounds like 90. You think, oh, they still have a ton of time off. No, what that means is every other day you're touring and traveling, right? So if you've got travel days mixed into 90 shows,
you just nailed this.
You're looking at close to 300 days out of the year, and you might have a couple months off total.
That's
right. So you're living out of a suitcase. You're living either in a tour bus or in a tour van, or you're living in hotels. And you've got families. So what do you guys? I don't know. You don't have to divulge like age of your kids, but are your kids old enough that they're not missing dad going to elementary
Go ahead,
school?
Johnny.
Well, my youngest daughter, who's 13 now, was born right into it, right when I got in with Collective Soul. So I'm not joking when it's taken a toll.
Yeah.
But she was born into it and knows no different. So laughably, come home from a tour. Hey, Carmen, and you expect this run and hug. She loves me. I love her, but it's just like, oh, hey, Dad. She's used to it. I'm not psyched about that. It's like the whole cat in the cradle in the silver spoon. It's like the whole, but it's like, that sucks. And then there's a 22-year-old Henley, other daughter, stepdaughter, but my daughter, and she's in college, so she's doing her thing and she gets it. But it is ridiculously tough. It's not as tough when it's Weekend Warrior, but it is tough. The last Hooting the Blowfish tour and the live tour, combo tours, where for me it's like almost legitimately the 2 full months or 2.5 months out where there's not much going home because it's a disconnect. So Wayne, what do you think? But that's what I have got going.
It's definitely easier for me to be gone. I live in Florida. My daughter's up in Pennsylvania. She's got her family and her career, and I see her whenever we play Pennsylvania. So I'll see her. She'll come out to the shows, but it's definitely easier for me to be gone. And like those tours Johnny was talking about, where it's consecutively 3-4 months gone, like on the road, kind of works out better for me, because when we're out there I find my groove. When you're waking up on the bus every day and doing the same thing every day, you kind of fall into your routine, where we start doing the weekend stuff and coming home every week. I feel out of my routine, and then I get there and I'm like, how do these drums go together again?
Right.
Wayne, can I throw this in there? That happened to me. It's not that I didn't enjoy seeing my dad, my family, kids, and everything, but when we started doing the 2 months straight of every weekend, it absolutely had a disrupt of the pattern. 100%.
Yeah.
I totally agree. What do you think, Kevin? Have you had that?
Buddy, there's a come down that comes after the tour when you're at home and you should be so excited to be sleeping in your own bed. And there is that for about 2 days. And then you wake up and you don't have that expectation of like a lobby call, going to sound check, doing the shows, and so you try to develop your own patterns. But what happens is there's a weird anxiety. There's a weird kind of like funk that you go through, those post-tour blues that they talk about. And I have great conversations with other touring friends of mine, and everybody else that's outside, they don't get it at all. They're like, what? You just like, isn't it grueling and horrible to be out there? It's grueling for sure to be out there, but it's what we signed up for. It's what you live for in a lot of respects. It's your identity, right? So when you come home and all of a sudden you're back grocery shopping and like taking care of bills, you're thinking, wait, this is a different chapter that not my favorite chapter of the book, man. But I
get you.
That's why COVID was so tough for a lot of us musicians, actors, or athletes, whatever. Anybody that had an identity that was based around performance, right? And when those kinds of things disappear, there was an identity crisis because what you did that defined you all of a sudden was stripped away, and you didn't know what to do with your life. I think a great friend of mine and I were just chatting before we had the podcast here. We were chatting on Instagram. He plays with Buck Cherry. They tour more than almost any band I know. I mean, they are out 300 days at least on the road every year. And like you guys, I know that a lot of places that we were touring with this last year, I would see Collective Soul booked prior or after some of the same venues that we were doing. We were doing the big sheds. And with those guys too, when we were doing smaller clubs or theaters, I kept seeing these guys. And so I'd ask him, all right, it looks to me like Denver's pretty much the hub that I'm seeing the most this year. I think I'm probably in the Denver airport at least 60 times a year, if not more, between coming and going. And so we started joking about our restaurants, the go-to restaurants, the go-to gates, right? You know inside and out how to get from B to C gate in Chicago. If you're at O'Hare, and you're going the tunnel. And so we're talking restaurants, and then we started talking catering in some of we're in the same venues. So I'm going to ask you guys, all right, because that's the stuff that gets unspoken, right? So best catering on the road, man. Where have you found best catering to be?
We know, Wayne, is up at it's the one up in Maine or
New Hampshire.
That's what I meant. New
Hampshire. Guilford, New Hampshire.
Guilford, New Hampshire.
Lobster and seafood, and
Guilford, New Hampshire.
Awesome.
Yep.
And I think on the tour that you guys were just on, you did a show 2 or 3 days prior in Dallas, and they brought a huge tray. I think it was in the Our Lady piece with the alligator.
Alligator. Yeah, that was. I remember that.
I do remember too, and I will say, memorable outside force that came in. That's a very memorable barbecue guy, like you know what I mean, like not a standard catering thing. Like when that dude the gator, I had a little bit of gator. To me, it was not. I wouldn't do it all the time, but it was sure looked cool on the table. Like you know what I mean? And it was, and they do go out of their way, right? I mean, that I got to give credit to everybody. They try so hard. I mean, it's some people look at this as like, you guys have a professionally catered meal service every freaking day. Oh my God. But I don't take it for granted, guys, but it's just sometimes seems groundhoggy, but there are some memorable places, and you nailed it with knowing all the I remember this. There's a coffee shop I walk right around the block, or this is an Uber coffee shop, or this is they have coffee at the venue I can do, like coffee snob that I am or whatever. But
those are the things that people don't quite expect, right? But those are benefits that you get out there on the road. It's cool that you have those.
And then you got places like Guilford, New Hampshire that we mentioned, and also Bangor, Maine, where they got like these go-karts that you could race around backstage, and like all this cool stuff, So they really they go above and beyond for the bands and the crew, with the things that they provide backstage. Other than great catering, there's all this fun stuff. Bangor, Maine has a gym that you could use. You go in there and lift and work out. So it's crazy. And Guilford has a swimming pool backstage, so you can go swim.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Well, they have Wayne's totally right. It's what's so cool about Guilford is that's my anniversary. When we play there, every time I go fishing on whatever that Winnipesaukee or whatever the hell the lake's called, and every time, and it gives me a little bit of freedom. I've even like said, hey, do you guys mind if I send you a certain like fishing rigs for everyone to use? Oh no, I haven't done it, but threatened to send them like good lures and stuff. And Wayne's right. They got these little trikes, killer trikes, and then the swimming pool is like, basketball thing on it. We go goof off, and
Yeah.
I think people. It looks like a luxury resort, and it is. But what's happening is, I think these places are giving us the opportunity, all of us on the screen and other musicians, to have a piece of like, hey, you don't have the standard stuff, so it's not just a metal shed and nothing. They try to have some fun stuff, so we feel like what we're missing out on a summer, because our summers are entertaining people's breaks, right? So I think it's nice to have that, like, hey, do you want to swim? Oh my God, yes. I
Yeah.
haven't.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Wayne's right. Wayne, you nailed it, dude.
Those are such. I mean, really. I love talking venues too. Is there a bucket list venue that you guys have not done that you're waiting, hoping to play?
Yeah, I do. Wayne, what about you, buddy?
You go ahead, buddy.
I don't know. I think it would sound terrible, but that weird ass cave, those weird cave venues, like in like
down south.
Something, like they're like you're in a cave. Like most of the jam bands are all like, yeah, like we're in here. But like I for some reason I've seen those cave things, and I kind of want to play in a cave.
Yeah.
Anyway,
There
I don't know where it is.
There are caverns somewhere down in not West Virginia, but someplace like that. I think the church had just played, and I had some friends that went to see that too. That were inside those caverns, and they didn't mention the acoustics, but yeah.
Now,
Wayne, what's your bucket list, Wayne?
Well, it's a kind of a new bucket list now. I want to play the Sphere in Vegas.
That's awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
Good job.
Have you guys checked it out? Have you been?
I've been to U2, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah, they went to U2.
Yeah. All right. So we got just a disconnect for a second, but we were talking about dream gigs, bucket list gigs, and how about countries? Is Collective Soul doing a lot of stuff overseas?
Not in my opinion.
No. Okay.
No. We've done a South Africa, South America, Canada. I know is what I mean. We love going up to Canada. But we haven't done any. They've done a lot, but since I've been with them for 15, it's been more in the States. However, I'm kind of a big fat liar, because what did we do last year, Wayne?
New Zealand.
Yes, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So just New Zealand, didn't jump into Australia as well? And
we did not.
You know what?
Okay.
We were going to, and it was either a time thing or something didn't quite pan out, but it was with Simple Minds headlining and the band Texas and then Pseudo Echo.
Nice.
And remarkable. Now, I'm missing any bands. Any bands I'm missing?
Sorry?
Any bands I'm missing? It was Simple Minds, us, Pseudo Echo, and Texas.
So, and out of those 4 bands, Johnny was the only male drummer.
Oh yeah, well I know Charisse, of course, with Simple Minds, man. She's killing it for sure.
Everyone was slaying. It's so good. They were so good. Everybody. So good. Abby, and then
you mentioned the female drummers. I mean, we just had I had Rod Morgenstein on and a bunch of other Rush fans. We were talking about Annika Niles, Annika Niles getting the new Rush gig, and as drummers, man, how awesome. Well, okay, it's a mixed thing, right? Of course, rest in peace, Pierre.
For sure.
I mean, hard to imagine them going on without. But props to Annika, right, for being
big
not
props.
Only just a wicked drummer,
giant props.
Yeah. Same for you, Wayne. You feel like that was
she's amazing. She's incredible and well deserving of that gig.
Agree.
Yeah. When last year when we toured Canada, Johnny and I, before a gig one day, we had a runner take us to Neil Peart's a pavilion.
The pavilion, down in St. Catharines area.
Yeah.
Unbelievable for me, because when you hear Lakeside Park, and I was a kid, I'm like, all you can do then is no internet. I'm going, Lakeside Park, I guess they're really talking. Is that a real place they're talking about? And to sit there with Wayne, I'm like, this is where he grew up. What is going on right now? I about lost my mind.
Pretty psyched to be there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I've not been yet. Every time we've gone by, we were supposed to be in Brampton, Ontario next week, And I thought about, okay, I could take an extra day and jump down, but it's on my list because I think they're expanding that whole pavilion too.
Thanks.
They're doing quite a bit more to it, which is cool.
You
So
you just hit on something. So I remember, couldn't help it. It was that Our Lady Peace tour in Canada, right, Wayne? And
Yeah.
and I literally went to Wayne. I said, "Dude, we're here. Do you want to Uber?" And then the come on, the person
The
that
runner,
drives, like,
the
runner.
runner
Thank you, God.
took us.
The
Yeah.
nice runner was like, "I'll take you," and we did.
nice.
And we noticed they have like plans, like you just said, for a more elaborate statue of, I think, Neil actually on like a statue kit, like playing.
Awesome.
So it was kind of funny to watch me and Wayne looking for that kit because it
Yeah.
wasn't there. But
Right. Right.
Yeah.
but
Yeah. But
super cool.
were you both big Neil fans growing up?
Huge.
Yep.
Look
Yeah.
at this.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Get
All
ready.
right. Let's see it.
I bought this and still have it at Tower Records. A dude took this at a concert and was selling his prints at Tower
look at
Records in
Man.
Hold
Sacramento.
on a sec. Let me make Johnny big here. One sec.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to show
There
this
it
off.
is.
Look at that. That is gorgeous.
That is a black and white
man.
actual developed picture. That's not it's a print, but I'm saying this is a dude that had a sheet out in front, like a bed sheet in front of Tower Records, Sacramento, the original tower. And I would go there and I'm like, he was selling for $10, $25. This was like $25. And it's from, you can see the Exit Stage Left, I think, tour.
Wow.
I've
Yeah.
had this for years. This is what made me start drumming, like realizing you could do it professionally. I know there's a glare, but
Yeah.
come on,
That's
Neil,
all right.
come on.
That's awesome, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great,
Hell
man.
yeah.
And Sacramento was home for you. Is that
Yeah,
right?
it was. Let me put him back.
Okay.
I'm gonna put him back on
All
the
right.
wall. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You bet. So Wayne, tell me this. I know that you're doing double duty. You've got some Our Lady Peace coming up, and you've got other Collective Soul stuff later on this year. So anybody else that you're working with besides those two?
I went out last year. My good buddy works for for Lost Lonely Boys, so I went did some gigs with them last year. Yeah, I get a lot of phone calls. Are you available for this? And a lot of times the dates just don't line up. But I squeeze them in where I can.
Yeah,
But
no, that's great.
I definitely stay
What's
busy.
the year look like
What's that?
for Collective Soul? What does it look like this year?
It's starting to fill up. I mean, we're starting in February, early February. We're doing a week at the Venetian in Vegas, and
Their residency, nice.
yeah, and then like from there, it just takes off. I'm seeing dates in March and April, and we don't even have a summer tour yet, but I can tell how busy it's going to be. I mean, the year is filling up, so I'm pretty psyched about that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we're even doing that. Creed is doing their own cruise ship.
The Creed cruise. Yeah, we got that coming up.
You guys are doing that one too.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I personally dig those. Some of the guys don't love them that much. Meaning, we always love performing, but the idea of the landlocked or sea locked, whatever the hell you want to call it, boat. I love those things.
I love it too, man. Yeah, we've done 2 of the '80s cruises.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, you do two performances, right?
Yeah, 2 to 3. It
Yeah.
almost could be 3.
Yeah.
It could be like
Sometimes
a theater
3
and two pools or something, right? I don't know, Wayne. What do you think?
Yeah.
That's good.
So we did this thing. Was it last year? Maybe 2 years ago, Johnny, when we flew and played on the ship, and then got off and then flew home.
Like, I swear, buddy, this might have been this year. The
This
one that
year,
we
okay.
went and did the in the ship, and then had to deep get off of it, whatever you call it,
Yeah.
and then disembark.
There
We
you
did
go.
that,
Yeah.
and then we got off, and we're waving to. Remember that waving to the people? Like, we
Yeah,
took
that
our
was
little-
crazy.
Hey guys, so there was a little bit of an internet hiccup, and so we've had to do a tiny bit of editing. But here's what I want to say: is in the midst of the time that we were on and off camera, between Johnny and Wayne and I, we've just discovered that we have mutual admiration for positivity. So we're going to try and put all of that stuff forward. We want to make sure that if you guys are out there and you're a musician, you're on the road, try and find somebody in your camp that can give you perspective adjustment in case things aren't perfect for your day. And man, we're going to do a part 2 where we get Wayne and Johnny and myself backstage in either green room, maybe hanging out with the drum kit. We could do a little drum kit rig rundown, or you can take me out fishing, in Bangor, Maine. But we can find out about upcoming dates and everything. Johnny, why don't you pimp your Instagram real quick?
Instagram is just my name at Johnny Rabb, JohnnyRabb on Instagram.
And you're also Instagram guy, Wayne. What's yours?
Yeah. So you could type in Wayne Shovlin or Shovlin Road, ROAD. That's my Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. What's going to happen is guys are going to watch this and they're going to realize how valuable your skills are, and everybody's going to try and pilfer Wayne's drum tech skills away from Collective Soul and Johnny. But we'll get, maybe they can see you out a little bit with Jason and Our Lady Peace, and for sure with Collective Soul. I'm so glad to know you guys got a busy year, and hopefully we can all. It'd be awesome if we can overlap. I think we actually were on a gig together a couple years ago at Summerfest in Milwaukee.
Oh my goodness!
I think you were on the same day, but with different stages. And I was bummed to miss you guys.
Mm-hmm.
That does happen sometimes. Well, I hope to see you live.
We'll do it.
Yeah, buddy.
You're always my guests, man. So, guys, if you got here late, come back, check out the beginning, and again, subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/AddAccessKevin, and be good humans, man. Thanks, Johnny Rabb and Wayne Shovlin. You guys are awesome. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, buddy.
Take care.